After the details of the tract in anatomy aspect, now we are going to see the various clinical points about the our tract and spinal cord. So first of all, there is a disease of the Dr. Stephen Hawking, who was the, yes, you know, that most brilliant person just in recent era. Okay, just got death few year before. So we are going to talk about the Stephen Hawking's disease, that is the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Okay, so what happens in disease? Try to observe this diagram. Yes, there is something abnormality in spinal cord and the tracts. We will see what are that abnormalities which is causing damage to the motor neurons. Yes, it is a type of motor neuron disease. Getting the point? So these motor neurons are affected, that's why ultimately motor activity is totally hampered. So initially there is the difficulty in the walking, then falling of the patient. Okay, and also there is a leg weakness, muscles of the larynx, pharynx, these all are involved, that's why speech problem, and respiratory muscles are also involved, that's why excessive choking is there. Okay, there is the hand weakness, muscle cramps, and ultimately the patient is driven over the chair or the bed. Okay, so in this condition ultimately the motor neuron is affected. Can you see? Yes, this is the normal neuron, while here is the affected neuron due to the involvement of the neuron. And you know, the bundle of the axons neuron, they will create the tract. So involvement of the tract, total damage in this motor neuron, it is causing the atrophy of the muscles, and this all the features are coming. Okay, so just see the easy way to get the proper points about this amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Try to understand. A means absence. In clinical you will observe better, but one easier way for the basic aspect I am telling you. A means absence. As we know, the myo word is related with the muscles, trophic word is related with the nutrition. So in this condition there is the absence of the muscle nutrition. Why? Try to understand. Lateral, due to there is the involvement of the lateral column tract, and as you know, which is one of the important lateral column tract, your answer is lateral corticospinal tract. Okay, many other tracts are also involved, but main is the lateral corticospinal tract, or you can say yes, this is the motor tract. So at the very beginning of this disorder, this involvement was found. Sclerosis means you can say hardening. So there are the various cause. Okay, where there is the hardening of the lateral corticospinal tract, which is ultimately giving damage to the neuron. That's why there is the absence of the muscle nutrition, and all the muscles are involved. Upper limb, lower limb, all the muscles, speech muscle, respiratory muscles. So ultimately the patient is coming on the wheelchair, and then after that the patient is getting the bed ridden activities. There are various causes for this disease. 90 to 95% cases are unknown, and few abnormalities have been also seen, like the genetic abnormalities, genetic relation, family relation, familial causes have been seen. In the genetic causes, there is the one gene which is important for the pre-PG point of view. That's why I am telling you, that is the SOD gene. This SOD gene means superoxide dismutase gene. Okay, it is located in the Harrison book. It was written that it is located on the 22 number gene. How can you remember? See here, SOD. Just turn this O and D. So you will see DO. Though. How many times though? 2 times though. So 22 number chromosome is there. Yes, this 22 number chromosome is responsible for the proper synthesis of the super oxide dismutase enzyme. In short, it is known as the SOD. Yes, as you know from your biochemistry chapter that it is the most abundant, most common antioxidant in our body. So this is the MCQ of the biochemistry integration. Most abundant, most common antioxidant, superoxide dismutase, not the glutathione peroxidase. Okay, so due to the mutation in this 22 number chromosome, this superoxide dismutase SOD abnormal synthesis in our after the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Now we are going to learn about the subacute combined degeneration with the correlation to the tract topic as well as anatomy. Okay, so as you can see the name subacute means this disease is in between the acute onset and chronic onset. So it is in between. Yes, acute means sudden and severe appearance of the disease, while the chronic means slow progressing disease. Getting the point? So it is neither the acute disease nor it is the chronic disease. Okay, now combined degeneration. So definitely in this condition what is happening, there is the damage of combined tract. Combined tract is indicating the damage to the motor tract as well as sensory tract. So in this condition both the tracts are involved. Yes, actually what happens in this disease, yes, there is the damage. Why this damage is occurring? So on study it has been found why all the tracts are damaged due to the decreased vitamin B12 absorption. Okay, as you know with the biochemistry that vitamin B12 is important for the myelin synthesis, and myelin synthesis, myelin sheath, phospholipid, it is found every kind of the neuron, either the ascending tract or the descending tract. Getting the point? So due to the vitamin B12 decreased absorption, there is the abnormal formation of the motor tract and sensory tract, or you can say abnormality is developing in motor and the sensory tract. So both kinds of the symptoms will appear. Yes, why this vitamin B12 absorption is decreased? In many cases it is seen due to the decreased synthesis or decreased presence of intrinsic factor of Castle. As you know, intrinsic factor of Castle is synthesized in the stomach. Okay, so if these cells are damaged, then intrinsic factor of Castle is decreased. So extrinsic factor of Castle, which is the vitamin B12 itself, it is less absorbed. So these all are resulting in decreased synthesis of myelin sheath, which is resulting in damage to the motor neuron as well as damage to the sensory neuron. Okay, so both types of the symptoms, abnormal sensation as well as there is the motor loss of motor activity, mean paralytic symptoms appear. Okay, sometimes sensory symptoms before appear, so dorsal column tract are involved, yes, increasing tendency. Then there is the involvement of the lateral column tract, lateral spinothalamic tract, this all motor tracts are also involved, so motor activity will be damaged. Okay, so what should be the treatment? Definitely vitamin B12 related treatment is important. Okay, so more further detail you will see in your clinicals. This is just one integration. After the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, subacute combined degeneration, now we are going to talk about this syringomyelia. Already we have written the notes about this syringomyelia. See here, break the names. Syringo means dilatation, cystic dilatation, and myelia word refers to the spinal cord and spinal cord related diseases. So in this condition, actually what is happening, you can observe this image, there is the abnormal dilatation, cyst is formed within the spinal cord central canal. Okay, so generally it is involving the neck region. So syringo means dilatation of the spinal cord central canal. So this is the diagrammatic presentation, and this shown image is indicating the MRI. So here you can see that in the neck region there is the formation of the dilated space within the central canal. So what results? Remaining parts we have already discussed, that due to it there is the damage to the lateral spinothalamic tract, but anterior spinothalamic tract remains normal. Due to the damage of the lateral spinothalamic tract, there is the loss of pain and temperature sensation, but the crude touch sensation as well as the fine touch sensation both remains normal. So such kind of the loss of sensation known as dissociative anesthesia, MCQ, which is also found in case of the ketamine injection, MCQ, in which patient says that soul has been separated from the body, the lines from the Kedit Tripathi pharmacology book, MCQ. Okay, and what is the resultant of this all? If the patient is having the habit of the cigarette smoking, then he is having the burning scar in between the index and the middle finger, that is due to loss of pain and temperature, because the patient is doing smoking, and that cigarette is burning the nearby area, but he is not having the feeling of burning because of the loss of pain and temperature sensation due to the damage to the lateral spinothalamic tract, but the crude touch sensation is normal. So he is aware that cigarette is remaining, I have to take the kush. Okay, so these all are the things. Okay, so this is the syringomyelia. So definitely if you are having the proper knowledge of the anatomy, its etiopathogenesis, okay, how these all structures are getting involved, which tracts are getting damaged, that's why these are the symptoms. Then just after observation of the patient, you are looking, there is a burning scar, you can interpret it, yes, there may be the chances of syringomyelia. So this is the magic of anatomy for the clinical diagnosis. Now we are going to talk about the next disease, that is the tabes dorsalis. As the name is suggesting, dorsalis means in this disease dorsal column tract is damaged, and in the dorsal column tract the main tract is the fasciculus gracilis and the fasciculus cuneatus. We have written the notes previously during the description of each tract in detail. So there is the damage to the dorsal column tract, that's why there is the loss of tactile localization, tactile discrimination, vibration, stereognosis, and loss of proprioception. These all the points, these all the sensations are getting damaged. Why it occurs? I told you, S for syphilis, S for syringomyelia, dorsalis is ending with the S, so one of the cause is the syphilis due to the Treponema pallidum infection. And you can observe the image Here is the image of the spinal cord where you can see, yes, this is the dorsal horn, ventral horn, these all the parts, and you can see there is a total damage of the dorsal column part within the spinal cord. So this image is interpreting for the diagnosis of tabes dorsalis. And here is the one trick mnemonic for clinical integration. Tabes dorsalis. Dorsalis is the trick. D for dorsal column degeneration. O for orthopedic pain, Charcot's joint, because the touch sensation has been lost. That's why repeated injury at the various joints that results in the Charcot's joint. Yes. R for reflex are decreased. S for shooting pain. A for Argyll-Robertson pupil are present, which you study in your physiology. Yes. A for absent. R for reflex. A for accommodation, R for reflex, P for present. So in this Argyll-Robertson pupil, what happens? Accommodation reflex is present, but light reflex is lost. This situation is known as Argyll-Robertson pupil. And then L for locomotor ataxia, I for impaired proprioception, and S for syphilis. So I told you how you can correlate these all the points with the anatomy. Now come to the next. After the amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, subacute combined degeneration, tabes dorsalis, and syringomyelia. Now we are going to talk about the Brown-Sequard syndrome. One funny correlation. Hope you have seen this movie X-Men, where this character Charles Xavier gets bullet injury in his lower part of the spinal segment. Okay, so this is not exactly the example of the Brown-Sequard syndrome, but this etiology is responsible for the Brown-Sequard syndrome. Yes, what is the Brown-Sequard syndrome? Due to the bullet injury or any kind of the stab injury or any kind of the injury which is causing the hemisection of spinal cord, that condition leads to group of symptom which is known as Brown-Sequard syndrome. So here is the one diagrammatic presentation. Can you see this image? Sometimes there is the injury around the central canal and the central part of the spinal cord is getting damaged. That is known as central cord syndrome. While sometimes there is a damage to the anterior two-thirds of the spinal cord, as we discussed, that is known as the anterior spinal artery syndrome, because the anterior two-thirds part of the spinal cord is supplied by the anterior spinal artery. We will discuss about this anterior spinal artery syndrome. That anterior spinal artery is located on the front side, single artery, and it is supplying the anterior two-thirds part of the spinal cord. So this is known as the anterior spinal artery syndrome or anterior cord syndrome. And this is the image of the Brown-Sequard syndrome. Yes, you can observe here that there is the injury to the only half of the spinal cord. So this is known as hemisection of the spinal cord, leading to group of symptoms known as Brown-Sequard syndrome. So what are the various group of the symptoms? Here you can see the image. Suppose this person is having injury half of the spinal cord at this level. So what will be the various symptoms? For the proper concept of this Brown-Sequard syndrome, you have to know the crossed tract and the uncrossed tract. As we have already discussed the tract chapter and you are aware, but again I am giving you the knowledge. Suppose this is the midline of our spinal cord. So we know that corticospinal tract is crossing in the medulla part and then descending. So this is the descending tract, pyramidal tract. Getting the point? So this is the pyramidal tract. Now we are talking about the important tracts which are sensory in nature, using the green color for the fasciculus gracilis and the fasciculus cuneatus. These are the ascending tracts. Okay, so as we know that fasciculus gracilis and the fasciculus cuneatus, they are running from the spinal cord and then above, and again they are crossing the midline in medulla. So this green color line is showing the fasciculus gracilis and the fasciculus cuneatus. Lateral spinothalamic tract is crossing the midline at the same spinal segment level and then it is ascending upside. So this is the ascending tract which is carrying the pain and temperature. So this is lateral spinothalamic tract. Now try to understand what is the Brown-Séquard syndrome. The Brown-Séquard syndrome is the disease in which there is the hemisection of the spinal cord. Suppose there is a damage to this half. So can you tell me, this is the spinal cord level, there is the bullet injury or any kind of the injury at this part, okay, half of the spinal cord. So what are the tracts which are getting damaged? Yes, there is the damage to the pyramidal tract, okay, there is a damage to the fasciculus gracilis, and there is a damage to the lateral spinothalamic tract. But try to understand what are the various kind of the symptoms will appear, because suppose this is the left side of the body, so lesion is at the left side, lesion at the left side. So try to understand, this pyramidal tract is damaged, this red color structure is the pyramidal tract, okay. So there is a loss of motor activity, which is the function of the pyramidal tract on the left side. So there is the loss of left side motor activity, that is the paralysis. And because the site of the lesion is the left side and appearance of the symptom on the left side, so such kind of the condition is known as ipsilateral. So in your clinical you will see, in Brown-Séquard syndrome there is the ipsilateral loss of the motor activity. Now again see, this green color structure is fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus, which are carrying the touch sensation, conscious proprioception, tactile localization, tactile distribution, vibration, stygnosis. This all will be lost, yes, due to the fasciculus gracilis and the fasciculus cuneatus, all will be lost. Can you see, it is not crossing in the spinal cord, but this tract is crossing the above. So if there is a lesion at this side, again there will be the left side touch sensation loss and other function carried by the fasciculus gracilis and the cuneatus will be also lost. But see here, we are talking about the lateral spinothalamic tract. Yes, this lateral spinothalamic tract is damaged, but it is carrying the sensation from the opposite side. So loss of pain and temperature, but from the right side. So here what is happening? Yes, due to the damage to the lateral spinothalamic tract, there is the right side pain and temperature loss, and such kind of the condition is known as a contralateral. But if the injury and symptoms are on the same side, then it is known as the ipsilateral. So if any patient is coming to you with the following features, that loss of paralysis, ipsilateral paralysis, and ipsilateral loss of touch sensation, conscious proprioception, but contralateral loss of pain and temperature, and on history he is saying that there is an injury at the spinal cord region, this is indicating the hemisection of the spinal cord, Brown-Séquard syndrome. You have to get confirmation by various kind of the investigations, okay. So here is the one notes for you, and this is the image whatever I told you, okay, and this is the image for your practice whatever I told you recently, okay. Now here is the flow chart for your clinical correlation, okay. What are the different kind of the clinical features? Yes, below the lesion, ipsilateral paralysis, I told you, ipsilateral loss of touch sensation and contralateral loss of pain and temperature sensation. But at the level of the lesion, yes, ipsilateral paralysis and ipsilateral loss of touch sensation. At the site of the lesion, the pain and temperature loss is not seen, because the lateral spinothalamic tract is just crossing at this level. And above the lesion, there is the cutting of the sensory tract, okay. Above the lesion there is the no special symptoms, but due to the cutting of the sensory nerve, suppose there is a lesion at this side, so above the lesion all the pyramidal tract is okay, that's why no loss. Pain and temperature, lateral spinothalamic tract is also okay, so it is not also getting damaged. But the touch sensation part, due to the cutting of the nerve endings which are coming from the below side, there is the irritation of the nerve endings, so they are causing hyperesthesia just above the lesion. So this is the Brown-Séquard syndrome, which you will study in more detail in your physiology, in your clinical conditions.